Yo, welcome to the channel. In this video today, we're going over a tank setup for the Stamina Sorcerer. Now, for Blackwood. Now, a lot of these other tank setups I've put up have been ulti regen, resource management, or just in general, pretty solid tanks. I like to have fun with some of my tanking setups, and this is just one of those. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Max magic is 20k, maximum health is 48.8. Max stamina is 21.1. Magic recovery unbuffed is 1.7. Spell resistance and physical resistance are both 24.1, almost 24.2. Now, fully buffed up with potions and everything. I am attacking for some reason. My magic recovery goes to 2.1, and my physical and spell resistance are both at 30.1. Now, when my monster set procs, it does put me over cap. I should have thought about how close I was to that dummy before I started attacking. I guess I'm a dummy myself. But either way, boon I'm running is the Atro. Food I'm running is basic tri-stat food that you can get from the Crown Store. Bewitched Sugar Skulls is probably the best. It's going to give you some magic recovery, so or not magic recovery, but health recovery. So you'll have a pretty good resource pool all around. Attribute points, I have 8 into Magicka, 46 into health, 10 into stamina. Now, keep in mind, I am a Khajiit, a Nord, Argonian, Imperial, or you two would be either one of the classes I would go. Khajiit, not so much, but it's just kind of what my Stam Sorcerer is, and I wanted to do it. I wanted to play around on a tank setup with him, and I don't have any room for more characters, so I just went with I have a Khajiit. Khajiit passives are not that bad to begin with. They give you magic recovery, some health and stamina magicka, but that third one where it increases your crit damage and crit healing isn't necessarily a big deal for tanking in general. So, but yeah, Nord, Imperial, Argonian are the way I would go. Now, champion points, passives, 50 into Gilded Fingers, 50 into Fortune's Favor, 15 here just to bridge the gap to 50 into Steadfast Enchantment. I really love this one. Basically reduces the decay rate of your enchants by 50%, or it lessens them by 50%. So, now once I use on my bar, Treasure Hunter, increase quality of items you find in treasure chests. That's everywhere, no matter what they are. If they're a chest, you have a chance to get better items. I like this. I keep it on my bar no matter what. Now, I like to run around and gather resources as well. Whether I'm BSing, I just don't feel like running a dungeon, or maybe I'm waiting in queue or questing or whatever, I tend to keep these on my bar. I just don't trade them out. That Plentiful Harvest gives me 50% chance to get double the yields from nodes, and this increases or decreases my harvest time by 50%. But the main one, Liquid Efficiency, whenever you use a potion or poison, you have a 10% chance to not consume it. It might just be 10%, but it's still worth it. It definitely saves you on some gold. Now, if you don't really give a damn about the resource nodes, you can go Rationer here, which increases your food and stuff by 30 minutes. Or increase your out of combat movement speed by a certain percentage. I don't remember how much this is off the top of my head right now. But it is good. It helps you keep up as a tank. But as a sorcerer tank, we got major expedition in our buffs, so we have no problem keeping up. Now, passives in the blue tree, 20 Eldritch Insight, 20 into Tireless Discipline. Over here, this isn't important. We got 20 into Bless here just to increase our healing down by 2%. That's not really that important. But these two, followed by these, 20 into Quick Recovery, 20 into Hardy, 20 into Preparation, 20 into Element Aegis. This is for critical resistance, so we never go up here, plus it goes on your bar. Now, the ones I keep on my bar, Duelist Rebuff, Unassassable, Bulwark, and Reinforced. Normally, I have Enduring Resolve as well. I'll trade this out sometimes for one of these, depending on what boss we're fighting, what dungeon we're in, depending on what's going on. If I get a lot of dots on me, then as I'm fighting somebody, then I'll switch this out. But for the most part, I just keep these on my bar, these 4. So, do whatever you feel happy though. I've seen some people still tank with more magicka and more stamina. And, so they'll use these 2, along with this one and this one. So, I mean, you can really do whatever you want. So, now the red tree, this is where things get a little different. Now, passive wise, I have 20 into Defiance, 30 into Tumbling, 10 into Mystic Tenacity, 20 into Hero's Vigor, 16 into Hasty, 20 into Sprinter, 20 into Tireless Guardian, 30 into Fortification, 6 into Nimble Protector, 30 into Savage Defense, 20 into Bashing Brutality. Now, I also have 10 here just to bridge the gap to Tempered Soul, which if I get one shot at, this lets me comes back more resources. Now, the ones I have on my bar is a little different. Only one's different from the normal setup. I have Balanced Vitality, gives me max health, Ironclad, which gives me more armor, and then Rejuvenation, which gives me 150 health, magic, and stamina recovery. Now, instead of running one of these, like I normally do, I put 10 here to bridge the gap to this one, Bastion. Increase the effectiveness of your damage shields and damage against shielded enemies by 3%. We're not really worried about the damaging the enemies with the shields, but it's more increase the effectiveness of our damage shields by 15%. We run this on our bar due to the sets and the skills that we're running. So, now, first set we're running is Imperial. Now, what Imperial, this comes from White Gold Tower. We're running a Decisive Sword with a Weakening enchant. You could put Infuse on there if you want to. It'll reduce, I think it takes up to like 207, I want to say, on the Weakening enchant. But that's up to you. I'm using it for the more, just more ulti-gen. We have a Shield Reinforced with Absorb Stamina. This can be max health, stamina, magicka, whatever you want. I have a stamina on it just because it puts me higher. It still puts a good gap between me and my magicka. See, I'm 21.1 on my front bar, and even on my back bar, my stamina is still higher, just by a few, just less than 200, a little over 200. But I don't know. It's just kind of how I have it. So, now I'm running a Reinforced because I'm not a Nord, or an Imperial. Like, I don't have any of that other stuff. So if you're a Nord, you can go Sturdy. If you're an Imperial or Argonian, you may want to keep it Reinforced as well. So, back bar, we're running Infused Ice Staff with a Crusher enchant. Reduces the target's physical spell resistance by 2k for 5 seconds. So, now what this set does, this comes from White Gold Tower, and it gives us max health, adds 4% healing taken, and when you take damage, you grant you and your group members within 8 meters a damage shield that absorbs 12.4k, almost 12.5k damage for 6 seconds. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds. It's a huge damage shield, and damage shields stack. So, that's why we pair it with our second 5-piece set, which is Fool's Killer Ward. This gives us armor, max health, and activating block while in combat places a damage shield on you and up to 3 group members within 18 meters for 2 seconds that absorbs up to 4.6 direct damage. If a damage shield breaks, the wearer of the shield restores 5.4k magicka and stamina. The effect can occur once every 30 seconds if a damage shield broke. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds if no damage shield breaks. So, let's see, in combat, boom, damage shield. It's a big shield. Pretty cool. And it lasts. So as I'm holding block, as long as I stay in combat, here shortly, it should be proccing again. Yeah, right about now. Come on now. There it goes. Okay, I gotta drop block and re-bring it up. But yeah, as you can see, so if it breaks, if someone actually does take damage, then they're going to get resources back. And if they don't, and it restores both magicka and stamina at the same time. It's not one or the other. It's both. So, this is just shields, okay? Now, we're on for the weapons and stuff, or the body pieces in general, I'm running Infused Chest, Sturdy Waist, Sturdy Gloves, Infused Legs, Sturdy Feet, and Jewelry are all healthy with Magic Recovery. Now, setup's kind of weird, but for the life of me, while I was farming for this set, Fool Killer comes from the Cauldron. I could not get a necklace. To save my life, I could not get a necklace. I don't know why. No one got one. So, I'll just throw an Imperial necklace on. So, you can run this setup however you want. I have it active. Both of them are active at all times, so it doesn't really matter how you use it. So, now, monster set, I'm running Lord Warden. You can do max health. It's not that big of a deal. I have an infused one. As long as it's medium infused, and light sturdy with max health. They can all have max health. It's just Hakujos are expensive, and I'm not replacing this. But this gives us armor, and when we take damage, you have a 50% chance to summon a shadow orb for 10 seconds. That increases the physical and spell resistance of you and your group members within 8 meters by 3k. Effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So as you can see, when we take damage, right now we're at 3k, so we're going to be at 33k when that procs. So we're about 500 above cap, or soft cap for PVE, but it's not that big of a deal. We're basically helping our group. We're going to give them some defenses with the Lord Warden, and we're going to give them a ton of shields through Full Killer and Imperial. And that's not where the shields end. So, sets. I guess at this point I can bring my pet back out, as long as he behaves. So, because my stats and stuff dropped. Now, ooh, go skills. I'm lagging. Pierce armor. It's not really for the damage, but this is our main taunt. We're going to taunt them for 15 seconds. And then it also afflicts minor breach and major breach on the enemy, reducing their physical and spell resistance by 2.9 and 5.9 for 15 seconds. So major taunt. This is our major fracture. Everything. That's why we have it. Heroic slash. We're going to inflict the enemy with minor main with this ability, reducing their damage done by 5%. Plus we get minor heroism, granting us one ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 12 seconds. So it works out pretty well. We're basically going to reduce their damage, and we're going to get more ultimate. Works. Bone Surge. Now you can either go, I went Bone Surge morph, but you can go the morph where it reflects some of the damage back if they're in melee range, but I didn't really care for that. What this one does, though, it surrounds yourself with a whirlwind of bones, gaining a damage shield that absorbs up to 17.6k damage shield for 6 seconds. This ability scales off your max health. An ally near you can activate the Spinal Surge synergy, granting the ally and up to 5 other allies a damage shield that absorbs up to 34% of their max health for 6 seconds. And Major Vitality, increasing their healing receive by 16%. The other one reflects damage. This one basically gives them Major Vitality. So I like that extra healing over the damage being returned. That's just me. You can go with whichever one you got. So this is going to give me damn near an 18k shield, along with the shields from Imperium, which is, I'm a 12.5k, and then Full Killer, which is another 4.6. So we're getting a ton of shields just off of these alone. They're going to get tons of shields, because 34% of their health might not be much. They're not going to get as much as me for that damage shield, but they're going to get at least a 6-7k shield off of their health. So it works out. Dark Deal. Bargain with Darkness to restore 8.2k health and 3.6k stamina instantly, an additional 2.3 stamina over 12 seconds, but this costs us Magicka. Just as we take damage, we're going to trade Magicka for health and stamina. That's it. That's why it's there. Clan Fear. It's going to deal some damage, not a big deal, but when summoned you can activate the Clan Fear special ability for 4.2k Magicka, healing you for 15.9k, and the Clan Fear for 7.9. This is just a heal, along with Dark Deal and this. They're both heals. That's it. Now, we also running the Clan Fear. You can run the healing pet from the Summoning Wing Twilight if you wanted to. It's up to you. I like the Clan Fear. It's just me. But we also want it for the fact that when one of your non-ultimate Daedric summoning abilities in, it's going to restore resources to us. So let's see. Increase your max health by 8% while you have a Daedric summoning pet active. So while we have our pet out, we're going to get an extra 8% health. And increase your health and stamina recovery by 20% while you have a Daedric summoning ability slotted. So just these two alone, we're getting 20% extra health and stamina recovery, and we're also getting an extra 8% health. So it's also why it's good to have just one of the pets slotted in general. Now, you don't have to use the pet. I mean, you could definitely use something like Bound Armor, but you can increase your magic or stamina. So, but why? Just use the pet. That's just my personal preference. Just use the pet. You do have to have it double barred though, because if it's not double bar, it will fall off. So you do remember to double bar this. Now, for our first ultimate, we're using Reviving Barrier. Invoke the defensive tactics to protect yourself and nearby group members with wards that each absorb up to 27k damage for 30 seconds. The ward also heals you and your group members for 10.7k health over 15 seconds. So, Nice little heal, huge damage shield. So it works out pretty well. I just did a Vet Stone Guardian run where our DPS was swinging a two-hander, or not a DPS, but our healer was swinging a two-hander and a bow. I don't know what was going on there, but they were not a healer, and we only died. We only had a couple. We had a couple members die once, and that wasn't until the end. And they died because they didn't take the potion to turn into the werewolves to survive the poison. So we were extremely close to a no-death run with a group of randoms. And most of these people were CP 700 to 850. So, but just the amount of shields that they were getting where they were able to stay awake with not really that many healers. With no heals. I mean, I guess they had heals of their own, because I didn't give them any heals. But I guess, or maybe the shields were just enough to keep them up throughout the boss fights and everything. So, Reviving Barrier. If you don't have Reviving Barrier, which, I mean, I think you got to get your support to 6, you can go with Absorption Field. It's the Morph and Negate Magic, and basically create a glow of magic suppression for 12 seconds, removing and preventing all enemy area of effect abilities from occurring in the area. Enemies within the globe are stunned, while enemy players will be silenced rather than stunned. The globe also heals you and your allies for 2.1k health every 1 second. So if you don't have barrier, you can always go with this. The difference in the ultimate cost is what, 23? What? So it's 12, 9, yeah. So yeah, 23 or 22. 22, 23. I don't know. Either way, it's not that much of a difference between the ultimate costs, so you can run either one. I like Reviving Barrier just because this is all about shields, and that heals. Doesn't give me a shield. So, Reviving Barrier for me. Now, back bar. In a rage, just our range taunt. It's going to taunt an enemy to attack us for 15 seconds. Range gives a synergy for the enemies. Now, let me get rid of my pet, just to be on the safe side here. So, if you have a DPS in the background just running around instead of coming to you, this will pull it to you. They'll come and attack you. And if they don't want to come to you, you just leash them. Pull them right to you. Now, what leash does, basically, it fires a Dawnguard crossbow hook to pull an enemy to you. And reduces their movement speed by 30%. I think it's the first or second ability you get in the Fires Guild passive. Worth morphing. I think, as far as I know, I do not believe. Yeah, I don't think sorcerers have a pull ability in their kit in general. So to get a pull, you're going to have to use this, or you can use Swarm Mothers if you don't want to use Lord Warden. But then again, they still need to attack you to get that pull. So Silver Leash, worth using, worth having. Blockade of Frost. It's going to provide a shield to absorb projectiles that will absorb 13.8k damage from projectiles, and shield enemies become frozen or immobilized for 4 seconds. But I really like it for the simple fact you can see Crusher up there reapplying, and as we attack, it continues to just reapply. So as long as this stays down, enemies will continue to have Crusher attached to them. Always try to keep that down as much as possible. Boundless Storm. Manifest yourself as pure lightning, zapping nearby enemies with electric, dealing shock damage for 20 seconds. Well, I was using the Stamina Morph originally, because I think it gives like an extra bonus of 15% movement speed. But this one, it does the same thing. It both gives you Major Resolve. But this one, after activating, you get Major Expedition for a brief period for 4 seconds. So you can either get like an extra 15% movement speed, or you can just get Major Expedition, which will increase your movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. It's up to you on which one. Plus, this one doesn't take my stamina; it takes Magicka. I have plenty of magic recovery, so that's kind of why I went with this one. I changed it out. Clanfear again, just because it's double barred. And lastly, Warhorn increases your group's max Magicka and max stamina by 10% for 30 seconds. You and your allies gain major force, increasing your critical damage by 20% for 9 seconds. I think when this is fully level ranked up, it will be 10 seconds, I believe. 10 or 11, one of the two. Pretty sure it's 10. Either way, this is just a nice little fun little setup. Even with no healer, with a group of randoms, we had no problems staying up. We had no problem staying alive. The amount of shields you get are ridiculous. And as long as someone pops bone shield, bone surge, bone shield, whatever you want to call it, you'll have no issues staying up. no one will have issues staying up. So if you do want to offer more of a group heal and you're not having any trouble sustaining, you can use Echoing Vigor. It will supply a heal for the group, but I like Dark Deal. I'm kind of selfish in that sense, and I believe I offer enough for the group, or enough survivability for the group with all the shields that I offer. So, need something to maintain my resources and keep my health up. So, I went with Dark Deal. Also, because I wasn't getting the synergies from the healer, because he was not a healer. So, but yeah, so we got shields from Bone Surge, we got shield from Reviving Barrier, we got shields from Fool's Killer, and we got shields from Imperial. So as I said, Imperial comes from White Gold Tower, pretty easy to farm, and Fool's Killer comes from the Cauldron. So Cauldron can be kind of difficult, the last boss at least, but White Gold Tower should be a breeze to run through on Vet, so you can wear jewelry there, just wear Fool Killer body pieces. It's up to you on what you want to wear, so, or how you want to wear it. Any order works, because it's 5/5 no matter what bar you're on. So, let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoy stuff like it. Let me know if you use some kind of weird build like this in the comment section. And as always, take care and have a great day.